Happy Thursday, everybody. March Madness is here. Conference tournament season. We are rolling at FTN Bets. We have everything that you want. Thank you for joining me as always. We're starting to narrow down. We're starting to get the teams that are in. The bubble is starting to burst for some people. We're ready to rock and roll. I had a great time yesterday at the Big East tournament. Got there, got some social media hits, going back again tonight, going to check it out as well. Make sure, folks, that we are still running our giveaway. Don't forget about this March Madness giveaway. You want a free bets package, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and when the video is over, put in your March Madness winner, who you think is going to win the championship this year, and cut the brackets down. Make sure you get there, like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. As always, we are ready to roll. Listen, the bets packages are flying. We have so many great things in the Discord. I cannot wait to get started for what we have on Sunday. Videos, paywall stuff, only available. It's the best time. You got Mike Kutry, myself, so many great people, Walt Waddell, Frank, Matt Josephs, all these great people in the chat doing stuff in Discord, giving you conference tournaments picks, everything that you want. I don't know why you go anywhere else. I really don't. We're not sleeping. I'm not sleeping. I'm caffeinated, ready to go, going back to the Garden, and I'll be back here again Saturday at 9:30. Frank is down in the vault like the Munsters, Grandpa and the Munsters, the old sitcom. He's got the simulations running. He's got all the conference tournament things he's banging out. We're going to have projections, all that great stuff. You're not going to want to miss it. Comments are here as always. We appreciate it. Sweating St. Joe's +3, Trevor. I am right there with you. Can't wait to go. Very excited. Here we go, folks. Not a ton of picks today, but just some comments. Let's get some things going in the chat, get what we need to get, and we'll start talking. I do like UMass. I've said to you that I think UMass has a run in them and can absolutely make the A-10 finals. However, I don't like them to start this game. They are playing a VCU team that they played earlier this year. And my concern in this matchup is that VCU played Massachusetts earlier this year, just the one time, and lost 74-52. But what I like about VCU is that they beat Fordham, they looked good, and the matchup with UMass can struggle from the outside scoring. So I kind of want UMass to win this game because I think the winner of this game, particularly if it's UMass, can beat Richmond, who right now is in a battle with St. Joe's. Assuming that it's Richmond, UMass already won there. I think Richmond is a paper tiger at the top, which is why I picked St. Joe's today. I like VCU to get out to a fast start. I think UMass is going to struggle. I'll take them -1.5 on the first half line, -1.5 point on the first half line, but I'm not going full line, maybe hit something in game. But I do like them to start because they have the advantage of playing yesterday, and I don't trust UMass's offense on a neutral court, at least to start the game. St. John's, look, you've got to win this game. You've got to win it. Seton Hall has beaten you twice. They came back from 19 down at the Garden a couple weeks ago. St. John's is playing better. They are shooting better. They're making their threes. You know the defense is going to show up. Seton Hall is in. We got that in the bet tracker. If you're here in the Discord, at +106 to make the tournament when they're in the bubble, they are going to be in whether they win or lose this game. I don't know about St. John's. St. John's needs this game. It sets up an apocalyptic matchup with UConn tomorrow on Friday. I think St. John's is going to win. I don't like them laying points. I'd rather it be 1 or 2. 3.5 is a lot, but I'm going with it. I just believe in Rick Pitino. I don't believe Seton Hall is going to beat them 3 times. They're shooting better from the outside. Jenkins has been on fire. You know the defense will be there. They're going to be focused because they already blew a 19-point lead. Garden's going to be hopping at 2 o'clock. I am taking them there. Enough with Wake Forest. I don't think Wake Forest is in the tournament. I know they can score, but the defense is brutal. I don't care that they had the win yesterday. I trust Pittsburgh per our conference tournament sims. Pittsburgh is one of the best values on the board you can get to actually win the tournament. You know, their ACC tournament, they played North Carolina earlier this year, did not shoot well at home. Blake Hinson was like 2 of 12 from 3-point range. Wake Forest, congratulations on your comeback win against Notre Dame. I don't know why they're favored today. I'm taking the underdog Pittsburgh Panthers +1.5. This is painful. If you know this show, this is so painful. Wisconsin's been god-awful. I hate Kevin Willard with a passion because I just don't think he steps up in big games. But I do think Maryland is king of the little people, and I think Wisconsin's a little person right now. I don't trust them whatsoever. They haven't played well for weeks. The chemistry is gone. So I'll take the 4.5 points at Maryland. Don't like it. Not something you should invest heavily in. I'll take Willard in the 4.5. They won yesterday. They got the win. Wisconsin. Are they really going to regather their chemistry after falling apart and being brutal? You look at Wisconsin the last few weeks, just absolutely awful in the Big Ten. I mean, the biggest pride that they have is that they kept the Purdue game close. They've lost 5, 6, 7, 8 of the last 11. They did beat Maryland at home, but it was only by 4. I just don't see it. I'll take Maryland plus the 4.5, but I hate both teams. Not a favorite of mine. Smaller wager here. USC's been scalding hot. They played yesterday. They won. They moved on. You saw across social media that's one of the biggest underdog sort of Cinderella upsets in conference tournaments is USC. It was like plus 4,000. It's down to plus 1,400. They're healthy. Collier's playing well. Yes, it's Arizona. It's a neutral court. They're not at home. It's a lot of points. I'll take USC plus 9.5. This is a tough battle, though. Arizona's offense can be on fire. It's just, I think on the neutral court, they can be a little iffy. They played the last game of the year at USC, and USC beat them 79-65. So you can say that it's going to be payback. Earlier this year, they beat USC 82-67, so it's the rubber match. The thing that I like about USC is their metrics don't look great, but their defense inside the arc is very strong, and they're number one at forcing turnovers, which means the only way that I think Arizona covers this is by having tremendous three-point shooting on the neutral court. Just give me one of those Caleb Love 2 for 15 nights, and I think we got this one. So I will take USC plus 9.5. I think it's a lot. I like Houston, but I think it's a lot. I like TCU, like their transition, get up and down the floor. Much like Xavier today, very much of an underdog. But, this TCU team did play yesterday. They played well, TCU. They beat Oklahoma, who's a solid team. They put 77 points in them. They played Houston this year. They beat Houston at home 69-67, so they're not afraid of them. No Tugler, no Arsenault. Houston's a little vulnerable. They're great. Their defense is tremendous. They can make shots, but TCU is going to be right there with them. I remember TCU several years ago battling against Arizona when Arizona was a 1 seed in the 1 versus 8-9 game. They do well in tournament settings. Jamie Dixon's a really good coach. Houston's bench is a little weak. It's a neutral court. A lot of points. I'll take the 11 there as well. I think South Carolina is one of the most underrated teams in college basketball. They continue to get not much respect. They're giving 5.5 here against Arkansas. I know Arkansas has played better the last few weeks. Eric Musselman's done a job because that team looked like it was falling apart. They finished 6-12, tied for third worst in the SEC. Got the win over Vanderbilt yesterday, but that was overtime. South Carolina has been one of the highest floor teams in basketball this year. They bring the defense. They make shots. They make you play at their pace. Arkansas is going to get turned over. I'll take South Carolina minus 5.5. The only coach that I've really been wrong about this year with my fading or my supporting has been Drew Valentine. Loyola Chicago has exceeded all expectations, but everyone's starting to regress now. Mike White needed a miracle to beat Missouri. Ergo was terrible down the stretch. Hubert is doing well, but let's see how far they can go in the tournament. The coaches that I've liked have done well. Rick Barnes has done very well. I think it's about time for Drew Valentine and Loyola Chicago to stub their toe. This St. Bonaventure team, I saw them up in Amherst. Very dangerous. Chad Venning inside, very good player, makes his free throws. The outside players, they can shoot as well, and they haven't even been shooting that well lately, but they certainly can. And in yesterday's win against LaSalle, yes, I know it was LaSalle, but they had some nice players off the bench. Noel Brown did a nice job with 11 points, was very active inside, gave some nice minutes there for Venning, who was not fantastic at all. But if they can shoot the threes, and they were 6 of 15 from three-point range, Micah Adams-Wood hit 1, Darryl Banks hit 2. They make their threes. They're so well coached by Mark Schmidt. They can be a thorn in the side here. I'll take the Bonnies, having played yesterday. Little momentum, well-balanced, well-coached Mark Schmidt over a Loyola Chicago team that I just continue to fade. Why is San Diego State favored in this game? San Diego State is the worst shooting team that is ranked in the top 20 in KenPom that exists. San Diego State ended the year losing to UNLV away and Boise State. Now they play UNLV again. They are shooting, San Diego State, 30.4% from three-point range. That is 11th. The only time that I saw them play well is when they shot the lights out at home against Utah State, 81-67. In that game, 9 of 20 from three-point range. That was pretty much the only game they were hot from. Their defense isn't at the same level. Their offense really struggles. They've lost 2 in a row. UNLV's fantastic at home. The only game they lost at home, they lost to Air Force way back on January 23rd. But since then, they beat Fresno at home. They beat Wyoming at home. They beat Colorado State at home. San Diego State at home. They've played well. They lost a 3-point game to Nevada, who I love in this conference. I'm taking Kevin Kruger's team, and I am taking UNLV plus 4.5 against San Diego State. Coin flip game. Oregon is disappointed a little bit. Mick Cronin's usually good in these settings. He's going to get his pace. He's going to slow it down. And the 3.5 is a lot in a neutral setting. So I will take UCLA. Yes, the numbers look terrible, especially on offense. Mick, but righted the ship, though, after losing 5 straight. They had that run where they beat USC. They played well at Arizona. Colorado, they won at home. They beat Oregon State to sort of get back to center there. They beat Arizona State at home in a rivalry, sort of to end the game, end the season there. I am taking UCLA plus 3.5 against Oregon in a neutral court. Oregon has been very inconsistent. They haven't gotten to the level that I thought they would. I thought they would really get going. Lost away at California, blown out away to Arizona, lost at home to Colorado, barely beat a limited Utah team with some injuries at home by 1. 3.5 coin flip. I'll take the underdog there as well. Haven't liked the Liberty all year. They have struggled in the transition coming to this conference. Their style is being neutralized because of the length and the defense that teams are putting out there against them. They were successful in the ASUN, but in Conference USA, ended the season 7-9. They played UTEP, Liberty, and they lost 67-51 at home. They beat UTEP away, but only 67-65. This is a rough matchup for them. Liberty, solid inside the arc, but still does not make their free throws. For a slow team that Liberty that wants to play at a deliberate pace, that doesn't turn the ball over, that prides itself in defensive rebounding, you got to make more than 66.8% of your free throws, which is what worries me about Houston. But I like UTEP. I like their length. I like their ability to force turnovers. I think they're going to get out and guard the arc. They're number 1 in Conference USA. Remember Joe Golding, who did an incredible job with Abilene Christian at the big upset over Texas several years ago. He's their coach. They will limit them from the outside. I will take UTEP plus 3.5. Coin flip, I'll take Iowa. Iowa is one of the best values in our conference tournament simulations that Frank has put together. I think we got them at, was it plus 4,000, I think, to make a run here in this tournament. Iowa very much off the radar. Iowa State's been great, and they've had new life under Diebler, who really wants that head coaching job. But I think there's a point at which that runs out. Yes, they've won 4 straight games, but now they're playing Iowa, a team that beat them by 2 away, that matches up well with them. Everyone's going to be Ohio State because they've been hot so far, but their numbers are still not fantastic. They're not great at forcing turnovers. They can't guard the arc, and they're not great from 3-point range. They've just been hot lately. So if they regress back to the way they normally were for the majority of the year, I kind of like Iowa here as well. Mississippi is dead man walking. Chris Beard's done a fantastic job, but on the neutral court here against Texas A&M, Texas A&M is desperate. They have to get in, and you know Wade Taylor is flammable. If Wade Taylor can score and give them 23 to 25 points per game, Texas A&M can be a dark horse to make a run to the Elite Eight or even further. I think they take care of business here. Don't trust Mississippi away from home. Chris Beard, outstanding job. They're going to be great next year. Ole Miss, I just think they're a little tired and they're running out of gas right now. Texas A&M minus 4.5. A couple comments coming in. Let's get to those right now, and then we'll get back to the picks. Let's see what we got. Yeah, there's nothing better than this, Trevor. Absolutely nothing better than this at all. Let's see. What do we got? Yeah, Brett, Oregon's had injury issues all year, and UCLA plays defense, and Mick Cronin is great in these situations. I know he's always angry, kind of comes off like the Clint Eastwood get off my lawn guy, but he's great in these matchups. He's fantastic at defense. It's just, I'll take the 3 points as well all the time. I'm fine with unders, Daryl. You don't have to twist my arm, Daryl, to do unders here in conference tournament season. I will take the under in any single situation on a neutral court. They hit more often than not, especially if the game is close. It's very hard for a close game on a neutral court where it's win and go home. In some cases, your season is over, for a game to fly under because kids and coaches just get cautious. That's what happens as well. Brian, appreciate it. Yeah, Brian, this is what we got. Saturday morning, 9:30. That's the same. Sunday night, I will have a live reaction show right after the brackets come out where I will go through my initial reactions. Then Mike Kutry and I, for subscribers, later on Sunday night are actually going to pick the bracket. So both Mike and I will have a couple hours to get our thoughts together, and then we will come on the show and actually pick the bracket game by game together. That will be paywalled. That'll be for subscribers. You can jump in and ask questions, of course, if you got that link. So that's a key as well. Trevor's so frustrated. I gotta see the game. I'm in and out. I gotta see the game. But BYU, Texas Tech, very strong. But BYU looked good yesterday. They got to get going as well. That's what we got. Let's get back to the picks. A couple more picks, and then we will get out of here. So I gave you Texas A&M. I like Iowa State. 7.5 is a lot in a bad blood game. Remember, Jerome Tang accused TJ Osselberger of having people behind him sort of taking pictures and things like that. So this is a bad blood game. Kansas State had a nice run yesterday, had a good win over Texas. Getting hot, 7.5. Iowa State, slow pace. I love the Cyclones. I really do. I just think 7.5 is too many points. Probably about too many points, if you ask me. So I'll take Kansas State, see if Tyler Perry and the team can continue shooting well on a neutral court. Guys, you know I'm terrible with Duquesne, but I'm fading Dayton. Now, Bennett is back, but he was hurt. I know Dayton's going to go on a run here, but Keith Dambro can be very tough in these situations. Duquesne playing well, always good, and it's not going to get a lot of backing here either because people are just going to back Dayton because they know Dayton. Duquesne doesn't get a lot of national press, but they've played this team. They beat Duquesne at home 75-59, and then earlier this year they beat them away. So this is the third matchup. Dambro is good in these situations. They've won 5 straight games. They've won 7 of their last 8. That was a good one over St. Louis yesterday. Dambro is his team playing well. They're number 1 in the A-10 in forcing turnovers. They just have to be able to limit the big man Holmes inside. And I think for 6.5, I'm going to bite. Nevada's my Mountain West winner. I'm taking Nevada minus 2.5 against Colorado State. Colorado State, not the same team away from home. Isaiah Stevens is wonderful. Nico Medved's a great coach. But this Nevada team can score and score in bunches. And I just think on a neutral court, they have more playmakers than Colorado State does. They've won 3, 6, 9, 10 of their last 11 games. They've only lost one time, which was to New Mexico at home by 1 point since February. Since the start of February, Jared Lucas is a tremendous scorer. Keenan Blackshear, they can get buckets. Colorado State, they played this year. They swept them both times. I know it's the third matchup, and Colorado State beat San Jose State yesterday. So if you want to go first half line with Colorado State, I have no problem with that. But I think Nevada's winning the Mountain West. I'm taking them here. I'm going to fade Indiana. You got me. Congratulations against Minnesota. Mike Woodson, not buying it. Your bigs, Penn State inside. I'm taking Penn State. I'm taking Ace Baldwin. Tournament setting. We're going with the Nittany Lions. Forget Indiana. I don't like them. I haven't liked them all year. And more often than not, that's cashed. And the fact that they beat us with Minnesota makes me want to double it back again today against Penn State. I can't lay points with Virginia, not the way they shoot on offense. They're terrible from the free throw line, 1 of 11. Not that I think BC is fantastic, but that was a great win over Clemson yesterday. Played very well, shot the 3 well. It's Virginia. Both teams want to slow this down, play at a slow pace, 5 points, a lot of points. I'll take them there. Be careful with Cincinnati. Yes, Kansas was missing Dickinson and McCullough, which is basically the heart and soul of their team. But Cincinnati's won 2 games in a row. Now they're playing Baylor. Baylor can struggle on offense. 6.5. Bearcats playing well. Wes Miller could steal a bid. They could win this Big 12 tournament. Be careful. You can see Houston get upset today by TCU. Watch out. I'll take the Bearcats with their rebounding against the zone of Baylor plus 6.5. This one I'm going the other way. I think Boise State owns New Mexico. I always tell you that the third time a team's play, it tends to get close. You can see it now with Kent State and Toledo. But I'll take Boise State -1. Leon Rice is a fantastic coach. Discipline, Dagan Hart inside. New Mexico up and down. Still not in the tournament in my mind, so they're going to give a great effort. But I don't have to lay a lot of points here. Do I think New Mexico is beating Boise? No, I think Boise's winning the game, so we'll lay the 1 point. Mike White was in trouble yesterday against Missouri. Really big time, but they pulled it out. I think they actually covered 2, which is really frustrating. So 4 minutes left. I think they were losing by 3 or 4. Like Florida in this matchup, focused, 3-point shooting, great on defense, interior. The only thing is their big struggle with free throws, but I don't care in this neutral court setting. I'm laying the points. I don't trust Georgia. I don't trust Mike White. I don't think they're winning this game, so I'm not taking the 8 points. And Villanova stinks. They should have lost last night. I don't know why I didn't take the 19.5. I jumped in Discord and took DePaul plus 3.5 in the second half, which got to the window. They should have absolutely lost. Marquette has competed really well, even without Tyler Kolek. So people see that there's no Tyler Kolek, and they all of a sudden think that Marquette is vulnerable. Look at what they've done. They played away at Creighton and lost by 14, but that game was close throughout. They pulled away late. They played UConn at home, and lost by only 7 without Tyler Kolek. And in fact, in that game, Marquette led in the first half. It was very close. Connecticut got hot, but they kept it. It was only with 10 minutes left. It was a 2-point game against UConn. You tell me they can't be Villanova tonight at MSG. And Cam Jones's take, John fans have talked about on social media, didn't get first or second team all Big East. Cam Jones, really? I can see him erupting tonight. And then they beat Xavier 86-80 away. So they can score. They can win without him. I am taking Marquette -3.5. Comments are flying. Let's jump in. Nova +4. No way. Going with Marquette. I mentioned that. You got it. They can absolutely still score without Kolek, Ryan, and they're shorthanded. They don't have a deep bench, but they have so much great chemistry, and Shaka's a great coach, so I think that's fine as well. Yeah, Brett, I could see it. I could see Western Kentucky making a run. I really could, because I don't think Liberty has beaten anybody, and it's really wide open right now because Louisiana Tech lost 100% as well. Longino was hurt. That's another good point, Brian. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like Washington State, Trevor. I almost put this in. I may add this in the Discord. I like Washington State. I'm a bit of a believer in them. That was a bad loss that they had at the end of the season. They should not have lost that game, which was a killer, which cost them a share of the Pac-12 title. Washington State at the end. Yeah, they lost to Washington at home. You want to say it's a rivalry game, that's fine. But keep in mind, this is a Washington State team that prior to that loss to Washington won 10 of 11. They do have some odd stumbles. Arizona State, Cal. They do lose some odd games. But I believe overall in Kyle Smith, I think they have a high floor. So I don't think Stanford is beating them. I'm fine with a Washington State play as well. Folks, as I mentioned earlier, in case you jumped on late, we got our March Madness giveaway. Like, subscribe, comment when this video ends, which will be in about a minute, who you think is going to win the national title. We will pick someone at random and get ready to go. As always, thank you. We'll be back Saturday morning, 9:30. The brackets are coming. My big board is up. Make sure you check it out. We have so much great content here. Got it approved. We're getting things going. Kutri and I will be back doing our brackets on Sunday, but it's paywalled. So if you're not subscribing, make sure you go to ftnbets.com and subscribe right now. As always, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. Love having you here on the FTN Bet Show. Mike Randle, ready to rock and roll. Let's go get some picks. Let's get some money and get ready for March. It's almost here.